If you are Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm going to relate to you something I wrote recently in order to try to help you upon exiting the Watchtower Society. I recently made a 2-part video series where I addressed how I built up relationships in the field service work which helped me when I escaped. You can find this in the videos that I made called I Came, I Saw, and I Will Conquer. It's a 2-part series, as I mentioned. I was not conscious of what I was doing when I made all these return visits and kept making them. These were the people we'd meet in the door-to-door ministry, for those who are not Jehovah's Witnesses and don't understand the loaded language. I still have these people as my friends to this very day. Where I saw many Jehovah's Witnesses making a mistake, or what I thought was a mistake, was their lack of participation in the field ministry. Funny as this sounds, those worldly people we hated so much to have to face became my ticket to freedom. Life is something we must all venture through with caution. We can lose everything just like that and must be prepared for such a thing happening. Here today, gone tomorrow. But what does this have to do with what I'm discussing? Well, listen on. Take, for instance, the internet. Many of us today exist because of it. We belong to what is called an online community. We've made many friends online. Yet if the powers that be decided to pull the plug on the internet, would we be able to reconnect by way of a contingency plan? Do we have our online friends' phone numbers, addresses, in case something like this happens? Leaving Jehovah's Witnesses, whether voluntarily or by enforced expulsion, results in a societal catastrophe, as I just mentioned. Many of us, including myself, have not been able to fully recover from this loss. Many of us were left with no contingency plan. I was very fortunate to build a large network of peers through my work in making return visits, something that was often stressed, but then also discouraged at the very same time. We would receive many reminders through the channel of communication, the Watchtower Society, to make return visits, but of course it was for recruitment purposes. If someone were to develop a friendship outside the cult environment by way of return visits, we would find ourselves getting sat down and chatted at about friendship with the world being enmity with God. I often found myself on the receiving end of such reminders and would often be pressured into going door to door, even when I had a good 30 or so return visits that I actually looked forward to making. I ignored their reminders. I not only made return visits, I called back on those same people for years. These were the people that were there for me when my New World Society collapsed. These were the people who picked me up off the ground. I am friends with these people to this very day. I still go to some of their homes when invited for dinner. I cannot express the importance to one's considering leaving this religion to count the cost and make as many friends as possible outside the cloistered circle called Earthwide Brotherhood first, before leaving. The door-to-door ministry is a wonderful way to widen out in accomplishing this. As Jehovah's Witnesses, there was a constant force isolating us from outside the cult environment, as I already mentioned. When we exit, we better darn well be prepared for the social vacuum that is guaranteed to follow. The same way, we need to be prepared for the eventual collapse of the internet. The only breathless thing that lasts forever is time.